Hey, everybody.
Hooty-hoo! Hello, how is everyone?
We're back here. We're here for the StabCast.
Of course, we're here on another spooky Sunday,
Yes.
and we're here with another movie that I once again decided I thought was really good, and Daniel thinks is ass. Well, not ass. Not ass. He said he liked it.
Yeah, I
so
do
not
like
ass.
Yeah.
But I find it really funny, though, that as much as everyone shit on this film, it has the same exact Rotten Tomato score for critics on Rotten Tomatoes. Both of them have the same exact score.
It's got a 12% critic score and
and a 38
audience.
audience. Well, if you go to the original, it's a really bad critic score, but the audience is 40. So they're not that far behind.
They're not that far behind, dude. Regardless. Yeah, this was an interesting one. I didn't hate it at all.
It is the second remake, just so you guys know. There was a remake in 2008 that had come out.
This is the 2020 remake.
Yes, and I like this one just so much more.
She loves it.
It's not that I love it. I just really like it more.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel knows I'm a sucker for a good plot. I'm a sucker for a good story, and what they had here, what they presented to us, was a good plot and a good story.
I agree.
They completely switched the old Children of the Corn kind of thing. I'm just moving this over a little bit. And they basically changed it. They were like, so what do people not like about Children of the Corn? And then they basically took all of that and then filmed that and basically got rid of the original story. So I enjoyed it a lot because it was a lot less religious.
Yeah.
Because honestly, these days, even our fellow YouTuber CZ World, he even came out with a video about this. There are so many movies right now that are being made that are so freaking biblical.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous how much Catholic religion is being shoved down our throats. Immaculate, The First Omen, Exorcist Believer, all of them are doing it.
Shit, yeah.
And it's so tiresome. And this very well could have been a period piece.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
No.
And a religious piece, and they didn't do that either, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah. I thought, you could always go corny.
Oh, hold on, our mic was muted.
Yeah.
As far as the fact that it's been remade twice, this is the second remake, and also because of the fact that there's 16 installments already. This thing is as dead as Amityville Horror and Puppet Master. Yeah. So if you can get somebody like me who's seen all of those to be like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's different for me. And then I'm going to call you and I'm going to be like, hey, I got something different for us to do.
Yeah.
So.
And if we're muted the whole time, welcome to the StabCast. It's Dizzle and Mindy.
I don't think we were muted.
I don't think so.
In case we were.
Yeah. Hi. We're here. And the Children of the Corn. What's any horror news? How's Smile 2 doing?
I don't know. I believe it's doing okay. From what I've heard.
I know a lot of people wanted to see that thing.
I wanted to see it too, and I didn't even like the first one.
The Rotten Tomatoes is already at 83%.
Okay. I think this is going to be a time where a sequel actually outdoes the original.
It's made $46 million on 28 so far, so it's already almost doubled.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not surprised.
We'll see it at some point in the near future.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure it'll be on Peacock or Paramount or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
You're tiny.
Something of that nature. And then we will go over it for you. I promise. It's just some movies, First Omen and stuff, we don't run out and go see.
Yeah. We had to see Terrifier last week.
Exactly. but we knew that Terrifier 3 had a very big possibility of being ripped down from everything.
Yeah,
That's why we went and saw it in theaters.
that's
As
true.
far as the first Omen goes, we were like, oh, we can wait till that comes out. And it did come out. It came out on Hulu. Did I watch it? No.
No.
Did I get told to watch it? Yes.
Will you watch it?
Probably.
She might.
Probably. It is a horror movie.
She might give it a shizzy.
So, and I really do got to give it out to all you guys that have been giving me your horror questions on the TikTok and everything. I mean, y'all have really been helping me out. Like, there's some that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, there's some tough Billy Goats out there.
So, I mean, I got to give you guys some credit. Like, Debbie does Dallas, Vivarium. Like, you guys have come up with really good picks. And it's really funny because the ones that I think you guys would pick up on haven't been said. Like, I just got a vote for I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I got one vote, Daniel.
That has gone on to be kind of an underrated gem, though, especially when they had the Amazon thing that did really work. And like that movie, it's especially because the second one wasn't that great either. Like the first I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of gets lost in the show. People recognize it as a good Kevin Williamson script, but besides that, they don't really give it much credit. Besides that, even though that's a fun movie with a young talented cast. Speaking of a fun movie with a young talented cast, this one.
Yes, this had a lot of young talents, a lot of rough talent. You can tell that a lot of the kids weren't like seasoned actors. They're taking acting classes or whatnot. But this absolutely shows that you don't have to.
No, I thought they did a good job for what they had. I thought Bo and Eden did a great job.
Absolutely.
Thought,
so basically what this is instead of the children of Rylstone going insane because Isaac tells them to, and you have a big diner scene where everything's poisoned and all the boys come in with a bunch of weapons, and that's how they get rid of the parents. That's not like this at all.
No.
This remake takes that situation and completely reverts it into something else. So basically in the beginning, you see this little girl. She's a sweetie pie. You find out her name's Eden. She's riding on like a fake like thing for a horse. Figure out what's really going on. And he was like, well, what makes you think she's gonna know? And he is like, because she wasn't touched. He is like, something's gotta be different about her. She wasn't touched. Sorry, my face is black. She wasn't touched. She wasn't like, nothing happened to her. She just went in the corn.
Yeah.
But while she was in there, she met a friend, which we'll go on a little bit more about that in detail a little bit. Then we meet Bo, and we meet her brother Cecil.
Yeah.
Which they call, well, her real name is like Bowden or something, or Boylan, yes, Boylan. So they call her Bo, and then her brother's name is Cecil, but they call him Cece. And they're both like, basically their father's kind of like the town mayor is how I figured it out. And what's going on is they're walking through the cornfields of their childhood and everything. And Bo, she's just losing it. She's like, how many times did I tell these people to not like cooperate with big pharma and all these big parasite companies and get rid of all this stuff? Why didn't they listen to me?
Yeah.
They put this stuff in the ground without even looking at a label.
Yeah.
Like, and now all of our corn from all the way to the next town, which is miles and miles away, it's all gone. It's all rotted now.
Yeah.
This ground is tainted. And then she was finally like, well, Cecil, I got something I gotta tell you. This isn't the only reason we're out here. And right before that happened, though, I don't know if you saw it or not, but right before that had happened, Bo had a hallucination.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hallucination, but as we watch the movie more and more, we do realize that the corn is alive. And because of that, the cornfield is alive.
Yeah.
And it does different things and whatnot. It just doesn't show it to much people. So that hallucination of hers wasn't a hallucination. She was just looking at the ground and saw that the corn moved.
Yeah, it's real.
So, and she thought it was a hallucination because Cece blew grain dust in her face, which that was so a me and you thing.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be me and you. Hey, I'm leaving. I'm moving.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You can leave in a body bag.
Yeah. You ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, he gets really upset because he's like, with my grades, I'm never going to end up anywhere. And I'm just going to meet Miss New and Improved Eden.
Gonna have to get a new mic soon. Go ahead. She
comes in and she has a red wig on, and Bo's like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, today I am the Red Queen. And she like pulls out this sword and like is hoppling on her horse.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have a trial to go take care of, so I'll be back. Cecil, come on, you're not gonna want to miss this.
Yeah.
And Bo's like, come on, no. And he still ran to go see what was going on. So her being the big sister that she is, went with him to see what the hell is happening, what the hell's going on.
Make sure he was all right.
They have these kids all over this like water tower, and like they have this one little boy that they're trying to execute. Like they're really trying to execute him. Like they're not really playing pirates and robbers like they thought like the older kids thought they were doing.
No.
Like they had every intention of killing the young man.
Yeah.
Like even Eden says, like, get ready to light the corn on fire when he jumps. And Bo's like, no. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You guys just beat up a car. It's leaking gas everywhere. Grain dust is like gunpowder. You light this and everybody goes up, including you.
Yeah.
And they decided to listen to her, and they're like, all right, well, fine, let's just push him off and pretend when we burn him to death. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think a lot more needs to be done than just taking away the lighter.
Yeah.
Like, and they have this other kid standing behind him, poking him with like this like stick, trying to get him to walk off the plank. And it's like, oh my God, this is like some children out the flies bullshit.
Yeah.
And so it was just very unnerving. And then Bo found it even more unnerving when her friend Calder shows up. He yells at all the kids, which they didn't care. At the end of the day, they didn't give a shit. They were going to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And Cecil actually goes and joins the other kids with the cheering and everything else because he's like, look, they're my friends too, and they're my only friends when you leave me. So,
yeah.
And he kind of did it out of spite. And she walked off with the older guy, Colder, and he was like, playing pirates is a lot different than it was when they were our age, huh? And he finds this knife, or I don't know what it is. It's like a jaded knife or something.
Yeah.
And he picks it up and he throws it. And if you don't catch it, you're not going to. But if you do, there is a point where the corn starts growing on top of the knife.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, by the way.
It's a very good little niche scene that they put in there just to make sure that you knew the corn was alive.
It's a cool visual.
It's a very cool visual. I think it was shot insanely well.
Me too.
Very, very good job. And then the two of them talk about how they're not going to go with their fellow classmates for like the last hurrah before school. They're going to stay behind with the little ones. And then there's this huge town meeting run by Beau's father. And they have gotten basically a deal they got struck up with another company.
Yeah.
And this time, this company wanted to completely plow over all of the dead corn.
Yeah.
And therefore, Rylston would no longer be known for corn. Corn would be a thing of the past. And all the adults were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's sell our souls. Let's get rid of the corn. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, fuck the corn.
And Eden and her friends walk in and she's like, not all of us got a vote. And the sheriff starts laughing hysterically. And he's like, you guys don't get a vote. You kidding me? You're children.
Yeah.
And like a couple of women like shouted out like, no, we should give them a vote. It's only fair.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And so this is when Beau really fucks up. Beau gets very, 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 very defensive. And she decides she's going to fix this. And she calls a woman from Omaha with Calder and her two other friends, get her to agree to come to their town at 10 o'clock at night to do a mock trial. But here's the thing. When Beau goes to tell the kids and tells them what to do, she does not say mock trial.
No.
She doesn't say pretend. She says none of that bullshit. So basically, she put a target on the adult's back.
Yeah.
And told the kids what to do. And the thing about this is before they were even told what to do, these kids are covered in blood. And they got this hog hanging upside down. And Beau's like, what on earth are you guys doing? And Eden's like, oh, it's the blood from Dylan's pop's hog. We need to feed the corn somehow. And she's like,
that was creepy.
What?
Yeah.
And then she's like, we're gonna have a trial, and you know what we needed a trial? Courthouse. You can't have a trial without a courthouse. So like I think Beau was trying to get them excited about it, but I don't think she realized how much of a mistake she actually made. Because by doing that, she basically gave these kids full reign to do whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah.
And then she got there late, and Eden's like, we already had the trial, you're late. And all of a sudden, they get through the door, and Beau finds out that Calder's father, the one that laughed obnoxiously at Eden, is actually hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they don't know where he's hanging from or whatnot. So she tries to get underneath him and hold him up. And she screams for Calder. He's doing the same thing. And Eden just gives him a nasty look and walks away and grabs her horse. And then you find out that he's attached to the fucking horse. So the horse starts walking away with Eden. And the man just keeps on rising slowly. And like the two of them are trying so hard to get to him, and then snap, and he's dead.
That's ass.
And as Eden's pulling up the horse, she's like, "Well, look who's laughing now." And then they all go to the sheriff's office. And Eden has all of the adults locked up in a cage.
And just to interject for a second here, this is when it really feels like Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
That's when the movie started. Because at first, this is like, it does fall into like the horror remake thing of like giving a lot of backstory to stuff that might not have needed it, and like putting in a little more plot just to have it there. And I don't necessarily dislike it, but I think this moment, like right here, this scene is when it's like, all right, this is Children of the Corn. This is what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, because they're walking down before they even get to the sheriff's office. They're walking down the street, and Bo's like, Eden, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, you wanted this, Bo. You're the one that said, let's have a trial. What did you expect to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
And then she's like, Eden, why are you doing this? And she's like, to feed him. And she's like, to feed who? And she's like, he who walks. So remember when I was lost in the corn for 4 days? Nobody cared about me. No one tried to get me. There was no one yelling for me or anything. But there was him. And he helped me. He talked to me. He showed me where to find food. He clothed me.
Yeah.
For 4 days. He did more than any adult in my life has ever done before.
Yeah. Took care of her.
And that's why she's so dedicated to this thing. So it's more or less not a possession film because Isaac was possessed.
Yeah.
It's more of she's obsessed with this creature because it kept her from harm.
Yeah.
It kept her safe.
It protected her, so she owes a loyalty to it.
Exactly, because no other adult has protected her like that. Mm-hmm. So she has a loyalty to this creature. And then we get to the sheriff's station, and all of these kids are just going bonkers. Like, they're throwing papers everywhere. Eden's tap dancing. And then we have the adults that are all locked up and whatnot. And then Calder, unfortunately, he goes, you're right, Bo, we got to do something. Minute he stands up, takes one step forward, and boom, baseball bat right in the back of the head. Yeah. And then once he's getting ready to land, they smash him in the face as he's landing. And then he's dead. Like right on the floor. And the only people that scream are the older people. The kids are having fun. They laugh. One of the kids is his brother. So, and it was just very insane to me. And it showed me, how much Bo really did screw up.
Yeah.
And, her dad was in the cage, too. And he's like, Bo, you've got to do something. I don't know what can be done at this point, but you have to do something.
Yeah, something's got to be done.
You have to stop this.
Yeah.
And she tries really hard, but unfortunately, Eden basically gives her a choice. You're with us, or you're with them, and you can die.
Yeah.
So, because Eden's way of life is basically punishing everyone that sinned against the corn. And that's all the older adults.
Yeah.
So, as far as she's concerned, the teenagers and the children, they're fine.
Everybody else, fuck 'em.
Everyone else, they're getting screwed. So, what does she bring out? Halothane. The same exact thing that they took all of her friends from the foster house out with. And she puts on a gas mask. And the sheriff's like, what the hell are you doing, Eden? And she's like, well, you know what? I hope you can hold your breath better than, Bob Boyden. And then, she lists a bunch of different names. And she was like, and all my other little delinquent shit friends.
Yes.
And then she puts on the pump. And it's halothane. It's the same thing that they killed the kids with.
Yeah.
So, since the adults have bigger immune systems and everything, they don't die. They just got knocked out. And Eden and her little army get them all where they were going to plow over the corn. And they plow over their bodies. It's so sad for Bo because Bo sees her mom laying there. And she holds her hand as she dies. And it's really sweet. But then Cecil, oh my God, she's like, Cecil, come here. And he kicks the dirt on top of his mom and spits.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my Jesus. He is gone.
He's done.
There's no help in that boy. He is completely off his rocker. And Then after that, Bowden's like, "You're right, Dad. I will fight. I'm gonna fight." And she convinces them to let her father and the other adults go into the corn. And she tells her dad, like, just keep running. Don't stop running. Just keep running until you get to Candlestick, which is the town next over, and get us some help. I'll stay here with everyone else. Just please, Dad, go.
Yeah, just get out of here.
And he left.
He listened.
He listened, but unfortunately, the corn had different plans for him.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets a little bit more intense.
Yeah, it gets more real.
And Eden's like, "I have a surprise for you, Bo." And she's like, "What?" And she's like, come on in the barn. And there she is, the reporter from Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
The woman that was supposed to expose these people. Their Bo's way of bringing justice, basically.
Yeah.
And the woman is beat up really bad. And like Bo's like, "Well, let me take her into the corn myself."
Yeah.
And she almost got away with it. But then at the last second, Eden changed her mind. And her own brother locked the damn door. Her own brother locks the door on her. And Eden's like, "I think the thing that we should do is we should give He Who Walks a chance to feed right now. Why can't he come to her?" And so they walk her through a different part and hoist her up. And the news lady, not Bo. And Bo officially goes off her rocker and she starts screaming, "There is no He Who Walks. You need to stop this, Eden." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to." And then Bo finds a knife and she tells it up to her throat. And all of a sudden you hear, and she's like, "Oh my God." So she drops what she's doing and like they all back up and you see this huge corn creature, which they did a really good job without making this thing too hokey.
Yeah, it didn't look corny at all.
It didn't look corny. It looked very menacing and kind of like a Groot older figure, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if Groot had parents.
Groot-ish,
that's how it was.
Scary Groot.
It's Scary Groot, yeah. And he basically makes it known, like, "You can't touch Eden. I'll kill you if you do."
Yeah.
So she lets go of her and she's like, "I told you can't hurt me."
Yeah.
And the corn person took the lady off and then Eden's like, "Feed." And it's like, oh my Jesus. And then they knock out Bo and start pouring lighter fluid on her. Like, I'm sorry, but at the beginning of the movie, did she or did she not say that they were already like covered with gunpowder because of the corn dust?
Yeah.
So why the hell they poured all that gas on her is completely beyond me.
Gotta make sure.
Because, I mean, yeah, but they were going to burn too if they did that.
Yeah.
And that's how she got them to stop. And then she ran into the corn and she makes an entire beeline all the way to Calder's grandma's car by the water tower. And she makes sure that she's getting everything she can soaked up with that lighter fluid that's on her. And she gets in the car and she tries to start it and everything. And then all of a sudden, Eden's scary ass is just right behind her. And she's like, "What are you doing, Bo?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to stop this." And she's like, "There is no stopping this. And you're not going to leave. You're going to die now." And she looked over and she saw Calder had a pack of cigarettes. And she's like, "Can I have one more cigarette, please?" And she's like, "You smoke?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a bad habit." And Eden's like, "Fine, but it's getting past my bedtime." And like that's like how childlike she was. Like she knew she had a bedtime and everything else. Like that was the most hysterical part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then she comes out with the car lighter in hand and she goes, "Hey, Eden, you want to know what's really funny? When you guys covered me in gas, I led you all the way here so I could do this." And then she drops the lighter and the corn all goes on fire. The entire trail that she made for herself, basically, all goes up.
Yeah.
And Eden's flipping out. Bo's trying to get out with a car, and she finally does make it out. But then the last scene, I don't really know how to make of it, because the last scene is kind of like a Carrie ending, like, or Friday the 13th Part 2 ending, or Part 1, I guess. Basically, she is out of the corn, or she feels like she is, but she's going to the cornfield, but she's in a different shirt, she's in a different dress altogether, and she sees Eden's ring that has a dandelion on it, and she looks up, and there's Eden's bloody dead body going, "Don't worry, Bo, nothing ever truly dies in the corn." And then she screams, and then it cuts to black. So I don't know what the fuck happened to Bo.
Great ending, though.
But great ending. Amazing ending. The fact that she decided to run through all of that, like, that was a very smart move on her behalf, because she could have just fucking ran down the road.
Bo had big final girl energy.
Yeah, she had chutzpah. She had very big chutzpah. And I really, really hope that we're reaching out to people on here, and I really hope that if anyone knows the director, or the director sees this, you did a good enough job. Please do not try to follow it up with a sequel. Please.
Yeah, Kurt
Wimmer. We do not need another sequel. Please don't do it to us. We're good. This was a great remake. Honestly,
let it stand on its own.
I'm going to say it right now. In my opinion, straight 8.5. Because of the classic. But I don't appreciate the classic as much as Dizzle does. Dizzle likes the classic more than I do.
See, the first one in my official rankings is an 8.8. So I can't go 8.5. To me, this is a very decent remake. It tries its best. It's missing the original Stephen King energy. It's missing this creepy dynamic. They try to make up for it with the characters, and the acting's very good. I love Eden. I love Bo. I love the characters, and I love how the children of the Corn are in this remake. It doesn't quite stack up, but it's still a good on its own remake. I give it a 7.9.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It's right there on an 8. It's something I consider a good movie, and I would go back to, especially next Halloween or like in the summertime when I get my spooky vibes. But it's a good movie. Doesn't quite stack up to the original, and that's okay. It doesn't have to, but it's worth a watch on its own, and I would recommend it because it's different enough.
Exactly. Like, this is a movie that you could, like he said, just watch on your own and not have to watch all 15 installments. And
you don't need to watch one Children of the Corn movie to watch this.
Exactly. All you have to do is just put this on, and it's a completely separate movie. I mean, unless you know what Ralston is, then you're gonna know it's a remake.
I know people. And the 12% Rotten Tomatoes sucks and shit like that. But to me, it's honestly a pretty good movie, and I think it didn't get its due. And I think it's just a victim of people are sick of remakes.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a good movie. You want to know what we're doing next week, Mindy?
Yes, Daniel. Go ahead and lay it on me.
Now, we might do this next Tuesday or something because I do have a buddy coming in town. It's my birthday, so we might not be doing this Sunday. But our next thing we're gonna do the StabCast versus. And for the first time, we're gonna have a wheel. We have a big wheel full of names. We're gonna have horror movie monsters. We're gonna have final girls, final guys, and we're gonna put one thing up against another, and then you and me are gonna say who we think would win. It's going to be the stab. So we could have Art the Clown versus Michael Myers. We could have Sidney Prescott versus Sam from the new ones for the new screams.
Definitely Sidney. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But,
I know you all love Sam, but I'm sorry. No, I mean, if 7 different people could not take that young lady out, I'm pretty sure not one little teenager was going to be able to touch her. Just saying.
But I figured because Halloween's coming, and also we're doing our big ranking with the polls coming up, so I figured a nice prelude to that would be a nice special Halloween episode.
And for an update, you guys, Halloween and Scream are neck and neck. Like, one of them's got 21, the other one's got 22.
Yes.
So, I mean, I have to laugh, though, because when I tell people, like, oh, I love Scream, and I'm sure you get this, too, people are always like, oh, well, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but out of the, like, 9,000 followers that I have, and out of, like, the 5,000 that I've reached so far, most of your answers are Scream.
Yeah, it's an iconic franchise.
So, I mean, you guys can say what you want to about it, the haters and everything, but I mean, it's got a lot of fans.
It's still the tits.
Yeah.
But so we'll be doing that next week, and we'll see everybody next time on the StabCast. Hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo.